everyone, it's Eunagina here today, and welcome to another speed build video. So in my last video I said that I was going to finish up a vampire mansion that I'm currently building, but the thing is I'm still building it. It's a really big build and it's taking me forever. It is very detailed and it is going to be very awesome when it's done, but it really isn't done yet. So because I promised you guys that I would upload it, I just thought instead of doing that, I would do a smaller build for you guys and upload that today. So I just did this build today, and here it is. So what this is basically is excuse me. It is a modern vampire build, because the mansion that I'm doing is more like the traditional Gothic vampire thing. And if I was to do that again with a smaller house, it would basically just be a smaller version of the same mansion, I feel. And that would be a little boring for me and probably also for you. But because I promised I would release a vampire build, I just thought, well, let me make a different kind of vampire build then. And then soon enough, I'll finish up that vampire mansion and I will upload a video of that. But anyways, so this is like a modern vampire little house. I think it ended up at around 89,000 simoleons, so it's not like a mega expensive house. It's not very cheap, but it's like an affordable little house that a studio flat inside, sort of, that, you know, just a young vampire could live in. So my thoughts for this house was basically that, you know, if you're a very old vampire like that, what is he called, Vladislaus or whatever, that lives in a mansion right now in the game, you would obviously sort of have that old sort of style, the Victorian Gothic sort of style. But what if you're a new vampire? What if you've just been turned and you're sort of used to all this luxury and modernity and technology and whatever, because you're pretty much a modern human being, and then you turned into a vampire. It's not like you're going to go and live in a Victorian mansion or Gothic mansion with no technology, with no nothing, and just sort of go back in time just because you became a vampire. No, you would probably want another modern house. So I thought I would build one of those. And I wanted it to still look like a vampire build. I didn't want it to look as bright as the usual sort of modern builds do, with a lot of white and bright colors. I wanted it to look modern, but at the same time also sort of have this vampire touch to it. So I went for a very traditional sort of black and white scheme, actually. In that sense, I suppose it's traditional enough. But yeah, so I just thought I would make it look vampiric, and I would also have it be modern. So I think it was fun to build. It was something different. It was not the kind of vampire build that I would probably usually choose to make, but I think it was a lot of fun to do a different type of vampire build. Yeah, that doesn't just look like all the other Victorian Gothic vampire builds that are out there, including the mansion that I'm making. So anyway, I've had a little bit of a long day, so if I sound a little bit tired, that's why. I didn't sleep at all last night. I don't know why I couldn't fall asleep. I kept thinking about the vampire mansion because when I'm building such a huge build or such a detailed build, I keep thinking about all the things that I could do, all the things I could do sort of creatively, pairing things with each other to make it look in a certain way, and be a little bit creative with the things that we do have in Sims. And yeah, my mind just wouldn't stop thinking. And I just never slept. So at 6 o'clock, I just got up and I built this house, because I thought, okay, the mansion is not happening. and I really want to get something out there for you guys because I promised I would. So I just thought I'd build this one, so I did. And here it is. So that's very nice. And now I'm just doing some landscaping around the house, just a little bit, and I really, really, really wanted to put in this large, gnarly tree, just because it really gives a lot of atmosphere to the build. I thought it made the whole house look more like it's a vampire house just because of that tree. So I was happy with that one. Yeah, but I was just making some landscaping around the house to make it look a little nicer, so it's not just a bare lot. Yeah, so I didn't think there were all that many sort of plants that really fit this house, because it had to be that sort of dull green, not too bright green. I mean, the hedges are already a little bright green compared to everything else, but I thought they worked okay. And then I just thought some rose bushes and all that sort of fits the whole vampire scheme as well. But otherwise it was very simple landscaping, but I think it's nice. I think it fits the house, so that's pretty good. I think we'll be moving inside very soon. Okay, we're actually here. So I'm just going to put in some wallpaper and some flooring and all of that. So as I was telling you before, I made this sort of like a little bit of a studio flattish kind of build, where you have the bedroom upstairs, and there's you can look out over the room below. You'll see that in just a second, where I actually take away the floor. If you don't know what I mean already, you'll see it then. So this room that we're in now, not right now, but underneath it, that's going to be the kitchen and dining area, and then the sort of long, what do you call that? The long room with all the windows at the front is going to be the living room. There's also going to be a basement. I mean, I know I made a bedroom with an actual bed in it, so if your vampire wants to sleep in a bed, absolutely he can. And also, if you have a human that you feel like living in this house, then of course you can. Of course you can, and you can let them sleep in the actual bed upstairs. But I am also going to make a basement, just a small one, where your vampire can sleep at night. There's a little office with a computer and some very messy desk where I sort of imagined him doing a lot of research in the nights and all of that. Or maybe in the days, actually. Maybe he would be sitting down there during the day because it's too bright to be anywhere else. I don't know. But anyways, there's a basement. So if you want to sleep in a coffin down there, you can do that. So also I wanted to say I'm going for a very sort of industrial look for the inside of this flat, and I am keeping the colors kind of dark because I want, of course, still the vampiric thing to shine through a little bit. I don't want it to be very bright, neither on the outside nor on the inside. So I went with like dark gray concrete floors, and up here you can see like a little bit worn down floorboards and all of that. And that's mainly also inspired by this sort of industrial loft look that I wanted to make. And these pillars, just look at them. They're not lining up entirely, and it's really, really, really giving me a lot of trouble. And I couldn't deal. I couldn't deal with that. I fiddled with that for so long because it just wouldn't line up and I didn't know what to do. And it was just annoying me so much. These are the kinds of little details that can really annoy me. And that's probably also why I take so long with my builds, because I'm paying a lot of attention to detail. I pay a lot of attention to detail. I just can't help it. If some little detail does not look entirely right for me, I will fiddle with it for as long as it takes for me to be satisfied with it. And sometimes that's quite long, to be fair. Here I'm just putting in the basement. I'm not going to decorate it yet. I'm going to do that at the end, I think. But that's where his coffin is going to be, or her coffin, if you want to have a woman live here. So yeah, as I was saying, I was using this industrial loft look, and I'm actually really enjoying that. I think it's nice. I don't do it very often, and I almost never use these counters, but I just thought they really fit this build quite a lot, and it was fun to do a different style than what I'm used to. And I thought the style fit the vampire personality. I don't know why, I just felt like it did, and it fit the house, I thought. Also because you can use very dark colors and all of that, and I thought that worked out quite well. So sorry guys. Yeah. So just doing the kitchen a little bit, and then I think we'll be moving on to the dining room. I think this build took me around maybe 3.5 hours to do, and this is a quick build. So you can see, I mean, 3.5 hours for me is not very much. It's a very quick build for me, but I wouldn't call it a quick build in general. I think a lot of people do builds quicker than me, but you know, I'm not a quick builder. I never have been. So that's that. I was fiddling quite a lot with the colors in this kitchen as well. I don't know, because I made it so dark, I didn't really have any color in it, and I thought that made it look a little bit dull. So I had to try and put in a bunch of I don't know, colored objects and all of that, and I just took ages trying to find something that I liked, that I felt like fit the style, and at the same time gave a pop of color that did not feel like it did not belong there. I tried a bunch of different things. I think I cut out some of it because at one point I was just trying so hard, and I was going through so many things, and that very bright green dish rack there, I changed it back to black because it just doesn't look good. It just doesn't look good at all, and I'm really sorry about my voice, guys, because it's really bad. It's because I've got some meds from my doctor, and she says that one of the biggest side effects of it is that your voice gets very hoarse, and definitely it does. So I'm very sorry if my voice is a little rusty. It'll just have to be like that, I guess. Hopefully it'll pass. I don't know. I like using these little letters on the wall. I felt like on the black background, it sort of made it look a little bit like the whole wall was a bit of a blackboard, kind of. I thought that was kind of nice. I liked that. So yeah, and I also really liked those metal frame kind of things that I put on the wall just there near the dining area. I've used those in quite a lot of my builds. I think they can be very decorative. When I feel like I've used all the pictures way too many times, then that's what I sort of turn to. So I don't know what I'm doing here. Apparently I went to, I don't know, take a glass of water or something. And I did not cut that out, so sorry about that. And those planks, by the way, on the wall and also on the floor upstairs, those are from Spooky Stuff pack. So if you don't have that, then you might not be able to see that. You can probably use some of the other wall boards and floorboards that are available, but yeah, that's just how it is. There's also a few Spooky Stuff things in my other build because it sort of fits the whole vampire theme quite a lot. So I thought, I actually didn't have the pack before I started building the vampire mansion. I didn't have the pack yet because I don't know. I didn't think it was the greatest pack, in my opinion, mainly because it had a lot of, I mean, it was supposed to be spooky stuff, but it was mainly Halloween spooky. It wasn't actually spooky, and I didn't feel like I could really use it for anything but something that was, maybe your sim is throwing a Halloween party or something. That is the only thing I could think of that pack would really help me with. But then I was making the Vampire Mansion, and I sort of thought that I could use a few of those things there, and they would look very nice in that build. So I decided to finally get it, and I actually really like these floorboards and the wooden walls as well. I think they're very nice, and I really liked putting in beams here. Actually, I only did that because I just realized when I put that lamp over the table, I was like, wait, there isn't even any ceiling here. How is it even hanging there? So I was like, oh, but what if I put some beams then? And I thought that was actually very fitting for the build itself, so those are staying there. I was trying out a bunch of different things with the beams, but didn't really work out, so it was just I think 3 straight beams there. Just trying to find a console, and I kept using this furniture from this set. As you can see, I was just taking it out because it's sort of, I've used so much of it and it sort of fit, but then I also thought that I had so much of it now that I was getting a little bored of looking at it. But yeah, and these pictures are so nice. I used 2 of them in this build, this one and then the one inside the living room. You'll see it. I think they're from City Living. I'm pretty sure they're from City Living. I think they're very nice ones. They're very decorative. I always love getting new pictures in The Sims. It's one of the things I really love, because when you're building and you sort of, if you have a big build and you use the same painting over and over again, because you will, if you don't have enough paintings, you'll keep using the same painting over and over again. And I don't like that. I don't like having the same painting more than once in a house. But I guess that's just something you have to live with sometimes. Yeah, I also do that a lot in the Vampire Mansion build, actually. I do use the same paintings a lot in that build. You know, the new painting, the very, very big painting that came out with the Vampires game pack. It has like a huge ornamental frame, and it's really, really pretty. And there just isn't anything else in the game that is pretty enough for me to choose that over the new painting. So I've used that so many times, and I hope you guys will not feel bored by that. I'm just putting in some curtains, by the way, in this build. I was trying to find something that would fit and not look out of place. The thing was just that I found it hard to find something that would fit, but I think these black curtains actually work quite well. But I thought that curtains were necessary, because if a vampire is living here and they want to spend some time in the house during the day, I would imagine that it wouldn't be particularly nice to be in front of a window, because they would probably burn. So I made a great deal out of trying to fit in some windows into this build. No, not windows, sorry. Curtains. I had a lot of trouble with the beds too. This is not a first, because I have trouble with beds all the time. It is really, really, really starting to tire me. I feel like I use the same beds over and over again, and there are never beds that use the color scheme that I wanted. I ended up going with this one. It's decent, and the frame fits. The colors of the frame fits with sort of the rest of the build, and the cover is also okay, but then it has blue pillows, and I've sort of gone for this green and red theme of, the little pops of colors in the build are always green or red, and then all of a sudden there is blue, and that really annoys me, but I could not find anything else. I mean, I could have chosen an all black, but I thought that looked kind of boring because everything around the bed is also black, and it's just too much black. You can have too much black, folks. You can have too much black. Yeah, I chose to put this console away and just not use it, and put a bookshelf there instead. I just realized I didn't even have a bookshelf anyway, but I think I put one in the living room as well, so that's fine. Then you have 2 bookcases. You need a lot of books when you're a vampire, I'm sure. You need to pass eternity, right? So I'm sure you I'm sure you have a lot of time to read. You have nothing but time, pretty much. Yeah. So I felt like my color scheme was a little bit difficult to manage. I didn't really think that I had a lot of choices of decorative objects that were the colors that I wanted. But, oh well, that's just how it's going to have to be, isn't it? So, yes, I really, really love that chandelier down there hanging from the beams. I think it's a really, really nice one, and it fits this style. I think it fits this style with the sort of heavy chains, but it doesn't look very, very old-fashioned, like it can only belong in an old-fashioned build. Absolutely not. It can definitely be in a modern build, or even like this, an industrial build. I think it's very perfect for that, and I really like it. But I had to move it one click up with the move objects thing, because it was hanging a little low, and I was just trying to view across the table, well, like from one of the chairs, and view to the other side of the table where the other person would be sitting if you were having dinner or something, and you almost couldn't see the person because the lamp was in the way. So sorry, I had to move it up a little bit. But luckily you can't see that because there's just a beam, so the little thing that was supposed to be attached to the ceiling is just hidden within the beam, so that's fine. Yeah, I enjoy being a little bit creative with these shelves. I think they're from Get to Work. And by the way, don't worry guys, I'm not going to put 6 what are they called? CD players or whatever on the floor there. I put them there because if I did not, then every time I tried to use move object to put stuff on a shelf, they would try to put the objects into their slots down there. So I'm just filling in the slots, and then I'm placing the objects, and then I'm going to delete those CD players or whatever again. But I really thought these industrial shelves were really nice to use for this build. I thought they fit this industrial look so well, and it was just a little bit of a fun thing to do. I've never used them before for anything. I mean, if I would have ever used them, I would have just used them as storage in some public lot, but all of a sudden I just took them out and was like, yeah, I can use those. So I did. So, yes. So this is the living room, as I was telling you, and that was the other, the black and white picture on the wall above the fireplace is the other one of those pictures from City Living that I was just telling about. So sorry guys, my voice is really bad today, so I'm sorry if I'm coughing and all of these things, and my voice is breaking. It's really horrible. Yeah, so I'm just popping in some pops of color because, as I said before, as you can probably see yourself, all the furniture and the walls and all of that is pretty much a very dull color scheme. So you do need some pops of color to make this look a little bit nicer. I think it works. I think this is a very nice build. I would like to try and make an actual vampire, a new vampire that should live here. I think I would like to do that. I think it's a nice idea that you know, a new vampire would want to live in a more modern house. And you know, I don't know what her or his personality should be, but whatever the personality is, I think it's a very nice house for a modern vampire. So this is just some lights that I was putting, like, it almost looks like a little bit like a frieze. I don't know why I put it there. I think there was just not enough light in that part of the room, and I didn't want to put a big ceiling light, and there wasn't really anything else I wanted to use. So I made a frieze out of it. They don't give a lot of lights, those excuse me. They don't give a lot of light, those lights that I just used there. So it's fine to put that many of them. It almost won't do anything. It'll just give a little bit of light anyway. So I used this sort of old-fashioned toilet that came with the vampire pack. And even though it sort of looks very old-fashioned, I thought it still fit this industrial look. I don't know. Maybe not. If you guys don't think so, feel free to tell me off. But I thought it fit okay. And I really wanted to use that that sort of lights mirror frame. At least I'm imagining that it's a mirror frame, that sort of square thing that I was just pulling out with lights around it. It's like a metal frame with lights around it. And I'm imagining that there should be a mirror inside of it, like it's one of those sort of performer mirrors where there are lights all around it so that they can do their makeup properly and all of that. I don't know, I wanted to use that, but I don't know if it's just not supposed to, if it's not meant to be for mirrors, or if it's because I don't know, but there are no mirrors that fit it, so I don't know, it can't be for mirrors unless they just added it thinking it was for mirrors and then they forgot to make a mirror that fits it. I don't know. Maybe it's for something else. Do you guys know what it's for? Is it for something else? I don't know. I guess we'll just never know. Unless you guys tell me, unless you guys know. That would be nice. Because I've been wondering that a lot of times. I've been pulling it out and I've been thinking, that could be nice. But there's just no mirror that fits it. So I don't get it. So I was just trying to pop in a green wall that would fit those flowers on the shelf over there. And there wasn't one. There wasn't a green wall that fit those flowers. So I went with more of a minty green. So I guess that's okay. That fits the jar, or what do you call that? A jar, whatever. You can see a couple pots. Whatever pots, the red and green pot that's standing there, it fits that one, so that's fine. Just threw in a bit of pop art for him there. I don't know why, I just did. And I really love these. I really love these candles that came with, is it Glamour Stuff? It's from Glamour Stuff, I think. I really like those. I use them a lot whenever I can, whenever I feel like the build allows it. I use them because I think they're really, really nice, and they have very nice swatches, I think. So yeah, so this part of the build where there are just stairs and then you sort of go into his coffin bedroom or whatever, I didn't really know what to do with it. I just put a bunch of paintings standing there and then a chess table because I thought, well, it's a nice thing to have when you're playing. I didn't really know what else to do with that particular area, so that's what I put in there. And I don't know why I've gone outside again. Oh, okay, I need to put in a mailbox. It wasn't the mailbox that I wanted. Again, just like usual, there isn't something that I want. But anyways, that's okay. I think I need to do some landscaping too at some point. And I'm doing that now, okay. So anyway, guys, that means I am off to the screenshots now. So this is the front of the house. I think it's really a nice build actually. I really enjoy this modern vampire take on things. I really like this screenshot where the sun shafts are coming down. Yeah, but no, I really enjoyed this build. It was fun, it was different, it was not something I would have usually done, and I really like that kind of stuff. And you guys should definitely let me know if there's something that you want me to build or anything. If you have some suggestions, I'll be very happy to look at them in the comment section, and I will, if I like the idea, I will build it for you. So please do link any, or do write any comments you want about what kind of builds that you would like to see, and I'll definitely take a look at that. So also please remember to like and subscribe to my channel if you enjoyed this video. It would help me out a lot. I am a growing channel, and I can use all the support that I can get. So if you really did like this video, please like and subscribe to my channel for more in the future. And until then, see you next time guys. Bye!